Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. Hello, you guys. Another pod, another car ride. I don't know. I'm actually liking this. It's kind of gloomy, so please don't judge. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in, giving me the opportunity to show you and, just demonstrate what I talk about on this podcast. But normally I'm not in the car. These past 2 episodes, I have been in the car because if you don't know, let me tell you, I recently just bought a house with my husband, and yeah, the fog out here is crazy. We had a tornado watch. We had a tornado watch last night, and it rained and poured and blew the winds all over the place. And now it's just foggy as heck. But yeah, I'm on the way to an appointment that I have in Murfreesboro. Now, some of my providers that do, like my nails or my hair or my waxes, I'm going to keep them. It doesn't matter that I moved, 40 miles away. I'm going to drive to go get serviced by them because why? They're that darn good. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this early Saturday morning is when I'm recording this because I am really trying to make sure I record, edit, and post on the correct day, because for the past couple weeks I have been so busy that the audio would be done. The audio is done, cut, whatever, but I didn't upload the video to export it to audio. That's how I just do one edit, export it to audio, and upload the visual, and I don't have to do too many edits, multiple times to get this here and this there. So I was posting the audio the same day as the visual, and I really have to make sure I look because there's train tracks right here, and y'all know where there's more normal train tracks where they have the little barricade thing and the little noise thing and the little lights that let you know that there's a train coming and it'll stop traffic. This does not have that, so definitely got to pay attention and watch out. And let me see. Yeah, so like I said, if this is your first time being here, give me grace on the background, the setting, all of the things, but my message will stay the same. I'm still true to what I talk about on this platform and what I try to raise awareness around and, just getting things off of my own chest. But if you're an OG or a returning listener, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it and love you guys, because not only do you guys get first dibs on everything, especially when it comes to my Instagram. If, there's some that don't follow me on Instagram, you guys are in the know more so than others. And thank you for being patient with me, because I know it's not easy. I want to support this person, or I'm waiting on an episode and it's not coming out on the day and time that she's saying that it's supposed to. So thank you so much for being patient with me and still staying here and waiting for the episode to drop. When an episode is coming out late, I do post on my Instagram when it's coming out. So if you don't follow me, you definitely need to go follow my Instagram at prettyconfident.pod. But yeah, you guys, I am so excited to be here. I was like, when and where can I record my next episode? In your next car ride for the next 45 minutes. Now, hopefully this episode isn't that long, but if it is, so be it. I hope you guys stay. But how are you all doing? How is November so far for you? I don't know where we are in the month on when this is posting. Maybe the 2nd to 3rd. No, I don't know. Maybe it's, towards the middle of November, closer to the end. So I just hope that this November is treating you all well. As far as a life update for me, it hasn't been too far or too long since I recorded my last episode when I was moving and everything. So I'll just give you guys an update on the housing situation. We are completely moved in we are completely moved in. We bought a new 75-inch TV. The old 65-inch that was in our living room is now going in our bedroom, and the old 55, I think it was a 55 it had to be a 55-inch TV that was in our room is going upstairs in one of the other rooms. So now there's going to be 3 TVs upstairs for the time being, because I do want to get a 4th one. I want one for the loft and one for each of the rooms upstairs. And then so I just need one more TV, which my mom says she had another TV, but she hasn't sent it over yet. Oh well. And then that 75 inches going in the living room, obviously. But my new couch just got here, but I was kind of like upset because the furniture people told me that my ottoman and my sectional was ready. So I scheduled the delivery a week out because I didn't have anything available before that. And, when the people came yesterday to deliver my couch, I was like, okay, well, just set this up here. Then, just place the ottoman, right in front. They were like, we don't have the ottoman. What do you mean you don't have my oversized ottoman? I paid for it. She told me it was ready and told me that it would be delivered with the couch. So what are we talking about? But when I looked at the paper that they gave them, they actually crossed my ottoman off the list. And so I called the furniture store. I'm like, I'm not going to make a big deal with you guys. You guys are just delivering what they told you all to deliver. But that definitely should have been a conversation that the warehouse had with me, like, hey, Sierra, right now we don't have the ottoman, it's not ready, or we mistakenly thought it was ready, but it's not. We're going to send the couch and not the ottoman, and we'll schedule the ottoman for delivery at another date, because I also paid for delivery and that came with setup as well. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll just call the warehouse, whatever. Communication is a big thing to me. Like, if you communicate with me what is going on, I'm less likely to be upset. But when I have to go put the pieces together, figure out everything for myself, that is when I'm like, okay, y'all are playing with my time and I'm finna get annoyed with y'all. But anyway, I called them. They said that, unfortunately it wasn't ready. I mean, if it was ready, you should have sent it. And that they'll, give them another week, which I'm like, another week, whatever. I'd rather have the couch and be missing the ottoman for a week than have the ottoman and not the couch. So, choose your battles. So yeah. So we'll just be waiting on them to let me know when the ottoman is ready so I can so that they can deliver that, because like I said, I paid for delivery, but I'm not paying for delivery twice. If y'all decided that y'all didn't send that ottoman, or y'all decided, hey, let's tell her that it's ready, and then it's not ready, and then we're going to bring the couch, y'all should be taking care of the second delivery. So they already said I don't have to pay a second delivery fee, which I wasn't anyway. I would have disputed the hell out of that. Or ask for my money back because you didn't bring me everything that I was promised. But yeah, so, that's the way you go if you were going, okay, I'm starting to click it. I'm starting to clock it now. Just figuring out different ways to get to different places in this new area, especially when you move, is definitely like a challenge in and of itself. So starting to put the pieces together is amazing. But yeah, so that's the whole thing. And then how I'm setting up my living room, I want the sectional, the oversized ottoman, and then 2 chairs on the side. Now, I have bought a lot of new stuff, and one of the things that I have started to love is saving money. So I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found 2 like teddy bear, like, what do they call it? I don't even know what they call it. But it was like a textured material couch, like not couch, but 2 chairs, white. So I'm like, should I really get white chairs? Yes, no, maybe so, maybe not. But I'm like, what's the likelihood of somebody spilling something on that white chair? If they do, I'll just get some stain remover, which I do need to look into next. And I do need to look into a Shark couch cleaner and carpet cleaner. So I do need to have that on deck anyway. And then I do want to replace my rug in my living room. The one that I have now, compared to the couch that I have in there, super small compared to the couch. So that's just a little bit of what's going on in my life right now. I hope you guys are doing well. yeah, so if you want to, have a say in what gets posted or talked about on this platform, definitely leave me a comment in the comment section, whether you're listening to this on Spotify. I don't know if Amazon Music or iHeartRadio has a comment section, but if you're listening to this and watching it on YouTube, you can definitely leave it there, or you can email me at theprettyconfident podcast@gmail.com, or send me a DM on Instagram, prettyconfident.pod. Okay. So I know that in my last episode, I had a lot to talk about, and it was kind of sort of, I don't want to say all over the place, because when I listened back to it, which is why I posted it, I actually kept all of my thoughts consolidated and talked about each thought elaborately and then moved on to the next thing. So sometimes I think that I'm just rambling and I'm all over the place, but really I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about and then when, and I kind of just went piece by piece. So it's kind of like, a story outline or a table of contents, just putting together okay, what all is this going to be about, and then at what point in the book or whatever the case may be am I going to talk about this particular subject or topic. So I'm really glad that I listened through it, because sometimes if I feel like I'm just all over the place, I'll delete it without even listening to it. But when I watched that one back, I was like, oh, okay, Sierra, you did a really good job, staying to task about what you wanted to talk about and then tying it all together. Look, there's a cop right here. So staying, keeping it all together, and then going piece by piece what you wanted to talk about, and then moving on to the next thing, and then at the end wrapping it all together on how all of it came to in fruition to talk about on the podcast. So I was very proud of myself. I gave myself some kudos. I was like, tap on the back, clack that. But yeah, you guys, so I definitely want to touch on a little bit what I talked about on the beginning, or definitely this episode is going to be about the first half of that episode that I talked about childhood trauma leading to adulthood. I don't want to say complications, but hurdles that we as adults now need to learn how to get over. It's now okay, that trauma that we experienced, now it's made itself into something bigger and something that we kind of don't want to face as adults. And so once we learn how to face that, that is when we can heal that trauma from our childhood that we may not have had the tools to heal ourselves during that time. So yeah, what I was talking about then, because it was so crazy that I was kind of feeling all of that, because I knew exactly what was going on, but it's kind of crazy that when you think about something that you're going through in a current time, sometimes or most of the time you're not worried about or thinking about, okay, how was this affected, or how did this come into fruition? Why is this so hard for me to tackle? And we don't think about what we were experiencing as children that influenced the behavior and the difficulty of facing this situation in current time. So I know I said that I'll elaborate it in a next episode, and this is that episode. So honestly, I was just feeling just a lot of emotional heaviness, and when I could talk to my husband about any and everything, and that is a blessing that I can do that with him. But when it comes to other people, I quite frankly tell myself that I don't care about talking about it. But, in reality, some of the times we do. We're saying that we don't care to neglect having to face that type of obstacle, or having to face the truth and reality that we may need to face this and have that confrontational conversation. Because I am not confrontational. When something comes up, hold on, my stomach. But when something comes up, oh yeah, you guys, I'm probably 16, 17 weeks pregnant by the time this episode comes out. So I can't wait to see what my belly and my body does around that time. But as I'm recording now, I'm only 14 weeks. But anyway, what was I even saying? I don't know. See, when you have a thought, you got to keep on going on it, or you're going to, miss it. But I am an unconfrontational person. So If anything contains like confrontation, if it's anybody except for my husband, because in our relationship there's going to be confrontation, and I understand that, so I'm prepared for it, right? So if you're not prepared for confrontation, or you're not expecting confrontation in a particular relationship, or don't want to face it with, certain people that's in your life, it's going to be difficult bringing up those conversations and having those conversations with the people that you may deem unnecessary, but it's necessary to have that conversation, if that makes sense. Like, you can say, oh, I don't care about this person enough to have this type of confrontational conversation with them, but in actuality you probably do. In actuality you probably want to mend that relationship, or bring the problem up to address it, so that way you guys can go past it. So in my situation, like, honestly, I don't tell anybody how I'm feeling except for my husband, and on certain occasions I tell my twin sister, right? Like, honestly, my husband is in this thing with me every single day, so I deem it very important to tell him everything, because he's in the same household as me, he's in the same environment as me, and if I am off, it's going to throw the household, sorry about all this, is going to throw the household off, right? So I try to make sure I'm as clear and transparent with him, because this is definitely something that when our child gets here, I want them to be able to feel comfortable and safe in the environment that we curate for them, to express their emotions, whether they're upset at me, whether they're upset with their dad. I want them to be able to express that. But one thing that I mentioned in the last episode that I did is that growing up as a child, and especially, as a child that saw both of their parents very young, and then divorce, and then remarry, and then joining another family with two kids, that he already had two kids, my mom already had two kids, them joining, having two more kids, like, just all of that. They were different parents then than they are now, but especially growing up, back then, I don't know how true it is for everybody, but I feel like majority of my people and people my age, kids didn't have an opinion. The kids' feelings didn't matter. You did what you were told, not what you think, all of these different things when we're growing up. And so that is the trauma that I was referring to, that when you get older, you don't really know how to express your feelings. You don't know how to have those confrontational conversations, because you were silenced as a child. You were told this is not what a child does. You do not get to have that privilege to speak up about your emotions and what you are feeling, right? So it's kind of hard to navigate if you did not go to therapy, if you still don't, acknowledge that this is where this is stemming from. Because if you're not understanding where something is stemming from, that is where, I talked about resentment in my last episode. But, resentment is like, you just let things build up. One thing happened that made you upset with somebody or something, and instead of addressing it, you buried it. And then when things started piling up, pertaining to that certain situation or person, you just let it pile up instead of, talking to that person and letting that situation be handled. And so now you have all these different things that are upsetting you about this person, when all these other little things are minor, they're minute. But because you didn't handle that one thing that you suppressed and buried, that's why all these other feelings are coming up and making it more impactful to your emotions than it was originally if you had just handled this one thing, right? So if we don't understand where these emotions are coming from in our adulthood, we need to start looking what was going on in our childhood that probably made us feel the same emotion, but because we couldn't handle it then, we suppressed it, right? As humans do. And now we're trying to understand what's going on in present day when we become an adult. But if we don't understand where it's deriving from, we don't know how to address the situation at its head. Like, yeah, you can handle the situation right there and then, but if you don't understand where it's truly coming from, you can't pull the weeds out, from the source. You can't pull what's going, like, you can't get rid of what's going on because you haven't. Oh, I was like, why did this person just, okay, things with what happened while you're driving. I'm trying to pay attention to the road, and then people are just doing whatever they do. But yeah, if you don't understand exactly what's the root cause of your situation and your problem, it's bound to repeat itself and manifest into something else, right? So the different situations can have the same root cause, and so just handling one is not going to be enough. You need to get to the root cause of things, to grasp it, pull it out of the ground, the roots, the weeds, whatever, and handle it right then and there so you can kill it, right? Just killing the surface level is not going to do anything, because it's just going to sprout up somewhere else, more difficult, more complex, whatever the case may be, right? So that's what I'm trying to navigate now, but it's more so just acknowledging it right now. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, because sometimes we don't know what we don't know, right? And that's okay. Give yourself grace. But because I don't like having confrontational conversations with people, I really don't know how to address it unless it's my twin sister. Like, we're twins. I'm going to bring it up right then and there. Like, what do I have to dance around and act like, I don't need to have this conversation with you? No, with her and my husband, having that conversation. But with everybody else in this world, which is just so crazy, everybody else in this world, I skip past the situation and I move differently around you based on your actions and what you did in a particular situation. So, somebody that I consider my dear friend told personal business of mine to co-workers, and I found it kind of weird because she was the main one telling me that I should not be the one, or I should not tell anybody until I was like at least 12 weeks, oh, get out of your first trimester, whatever. And she would have told people when I was like 8 weeks pregnant. So you're telling me not to tell my own business until, the first trimester, which I wasn't going to tell anybody anyway. But not only did you advise me not to do that, but you then went around and told my business that's not yours to people at work that have no privilege in my personal life, right? So, and then at work, you already got to be careful in corporate America. So it's just negative on top of negative going on. And so and the reason I found out that this happened, it was not because she came to me herself and told me that she told somebody or more than one person, because when I did feel comfortable to tell one other person, she was like, yeah, remember I told you that? I'm like, who did you not tell? Highly frustrated me and upset me. But this person came to me out of the blue. It was like, hey, you're holding out on some information from me. So now these people feel like they have a right and privilege to my situation and what I have going on in my personal life, when that is my decision to grant somebody that privilege, right? So it just really stuck out to me, like, what are you even talking about right now? Like, are you talking about, I have so much going on? Maybe you knew, I did tell a few people about, oh, we're looking for a house, but this was before we were seriously looking for a house and under contract under one. So, it's just very weird. So I thought that's what this person was talking about, and he was like, oh no, not that, there's some other information out there. I don't like that. I do not like that. I hate that. I am a private person already, and somebody coming to me to tell me that they know something about my life that I did not grant them access to pissed me off. And maybe I shouldn't be talking about this on the platform, but I honestly don't care. So, when he told me who he heard it from, I'm like, there's no other way. There's no way. So when I contacted her about it, I'm like, what did you tell this person? Oh, I told them that you were pregnant and that, So you were running your mouth. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. I feel like I get hurt in friendships more than relationships. more platonic relationships than romantic relationships, because the platonic ones are the ones that you get to choose, and that those are the ones that you deem the closest to you because they're platonic. I'm not, looking for anything romantic out of you, right? And so I feel like I constantly have this battle with females in like my friendships. Like trying to get friends, like trying to have friends is so hard, especially as a female, because we don't do confrontation. I don't think there's one woman that actively likes confrontation in a friendship. I watched one podcast, and the lady said, if I have to have a difficult conversation in my friendship, we're not friends. And at first I thought, like, no, you should be able to have difficult conversations. But honestly, that's literally me. Once you do something that's so damaging to my emotional and mental state, and how I move to like trust is a big thing to me. So once you do something to my emotional and mental state and disregard my trust that I have for you, or go against the trust that I have for you, that is when I start moving different. I'd rather not have a hard conversation with you, because I feel like at our grown age, I don't want to parent somebody. I already have a lot of other stuff going on that I do not feel like I should have to parent another human being on how to be my friend. Right? Like, if you already gave the guidelines on what you think should and shouldn't be discussed, you can advise me what you think I should do all day long, but it's going to be ultimately my decision. But if I agree with you on the advisement because I wasn't going to tell anybody anyway, and you go against the advisement that you gave me, but it's about my personal information, trust is gone. I start to move around you differently. And so I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's wrong. I don't know if I need to work on it. But I genuinely feel like I don't have enough energy. And I'm trying not to cry right now. But I genuinely feel like I don't have enough energy to keep going back and forth with females about how I should be treated in a relationship. I feel like I should not have to do that. And when it repeatedly happens over and over and over, in different friendships, in different groups, and within different people that don't have any tie to each other, I am the person that needs to start withholding information, because I let you get too close. I let you get too comfortable with that information that you felt obligated to go tell my situation and my story to somebody else. You do not have that right. You do not have that privilege. And it hurts so much, because as a female, we thrive and we want and we desire connection with other females. But it's just like, how do I get that if every female I come encounter with, I have to raise and teach how to be my friend? I don't want to do that. I'm tired. I have stuff in my life that's hard. This is the one relationship that I don't want to be hard. Have the decency, the common courtesy to ask me, do you mind if I divulge in this, information with, tell this information to somebody? If you slipped up and mentioned it without really knowing that you did that, be bold enough. Be like, have the courtesy to tell me, hey, I accidentally told somebody X. But when I brought it up to you, oh yeah, I forgot. So you feel comfortable enough talking to somebody that is not me about my situation, and then forgot to notify me that you told somebody this situation. And so, yeah, that is just what is so difficult to me in friendships with females. Like, I'm not going to say like I always consider myself like, oh, I'm one of the guys. But when I tell y'all, men, most of the time, like as far as like friendships and their platonic relationships, they are so much more loyal than females. And I'm not saying that she intentionally did it and that makes her not loyal, but I've had friends that are guys and they keep their mouths closed better than some females. But I just feel like if you are in a work setting and you feel like you have to talk so much that you are forgetting what you are talking about, that is a problem to me. And so what I can do, because not everything is always somebody else's fault, you have to be able to acknowledge the part that you played in your downfall, because somebody didn't just completely go out there and mistreat you without you allowing, or without you letting certain things happen that led to the downfall, right? So, before you go blaming somebody else fully, make sure you're looking inward and saying, okay, what did I do wrong? Or what could I have, excuse me, oh my goodness, what could I have done differently that could have led to a different outcome, right? And so for me, in that situation, and I think that's why, that's another reason why I don't really do confrontation with other people, because it's like a self-reflection moment for me. What did I do in that situation, or what did I allow? Because sometimes you don't even do something, you just allow something, or you let something go unsaid that made this person feel comfortable, or that gave this person enough power to go and relay information that was not theirs to relay, right? And so for me, that was, okay, I gave you too much information. And that is how our friendship has been this whole entire time. I have been giving you too much information. And so at the end of the day, I don't know what you tell other people, because I'm not always around. And I don't see you every day, and I don't work with you anymore. And so it's just like, I don't know what you tell people. And so I just found it as a betrayal, yes, because she had this big thing happen in her life that she decided to have happen, and she told me to not tell. She asked me not to tell anybody. So it's like, okay, I know this piece of information that you don't want anybody at work to know, but as soon as you know some information that nobody at work should know, you told my business, and to this day, your secret is still kept with me. It does not sit right with me that I am always the one burnt at the stake. But at the end of the day, I feel like I am always a good friend. Like, it hurts so bad. Because like I said, females, we want a group of females that we can feel close to and that we can find sisterhood in. But when I constantly feel like I have to have my guard up around females, I have a trust issue. I literally have a trust issue with females, because in every single friendship that I deem like, oh my goodness, this girl is my best friend, it comes to bite me in the ass. And so no, I don't want any friends. No, I don't want any female friends. I don't want anybody around me. So it just hurts. It really just hurts. And I know, like, there's going to be some people that, oh, you need to go and talk to her about it. No, I don't want to. Because at the end of the day, you never know. After a situation is talked about, will this person go and do the same thing? You will not be around this person 24/7 to make sure they don't do the same thing. Okay, so now it's like, all right, even if I talk about it, what is it going to do, honestly? The only thing that I can truly do to make sure this does not happen again is give you the information that I want you to have, that I don't mind getting out. Now I'm treating you like an associate. You have lost that privilege to me. Lost it. And it sucks, because it's like, sometimes you want somebody other than your significant other than the person that you're in this relationship with, to tell you, to be able to talk to stuff about. And it sucks because now I don't have that sisterhood that isn't truly a sister, right? Like, most of the time we want to build that family or that circle of friends, that circle of sisters that aren't truly related to us. And it's just so hard to find even one. It is so hard. So females out there, if you have near and dear friends that you feel like that you can trust, that you feel like y'all can come back from anything, I really want to encourage y'all to have those difficult conversations. But I don't want to encourage difficult conversations if at the end of the day it's going to come out making y'all look stupid. Because most of the time, females just want to be around certain girls that they will, have those difficult conversations, but still be in these relationships where, like, yeah, y'all had this difficult conversation, but this should have ended the friendship based on how she treated you, or this should have ended the friendship based on, the gratification. I mean, not the the magnification of what the magnitude of the situation, right? So I feel like some females rather have certain looking female friends on their side than having true female friends on their side. And so you can have difficult conversations with those people all the time, any time of the day. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who that person truly is. And for me, once my trust is gone from you, I think that's why I don't deem it necessary to have those confrontational conversations. Because once I deem my trust is gone, what else is there to talk about? Yeah, we can have this conversation, but I'm never going to give you the opportunity to hurt me again. That's literally where I am. So it just clearly is what it is for me at this point. So, when I saw her not too long ago, it was, oh, you did this, oh, you did that. Oh my goodness, it's like you're living a different life. I am, because you're not included in the life that I am living in real time. You are going to get bits and pieces that I want you to have when I want you to have them. But you are no longer obligated or have the rights or privilege to what's going on in my present life because of what's already transpired. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to talk about on this episode today. Just the childhood trauma. It's the, your feelings don't matter, or you don't get the right to express your feelings. And now in my adulthood, I don't know how to express my feelings to the people that actually hurt me. Because you have no remorse for what you did. And I feel like if I told you what you did, I really don't like the sorries. I'm only like, it's not saying that these people say it, but it's like, I really don't like the sorries because I made you feel this way. I want the I'm sorry that I did this, and I want you to pre-acknowledge that you did it, tell me about it, and apologize. I don't like to have to constantly bring up, oh, you did this. This is why it was wrong. Why do I have to tell you what's wrong and why? It's annoying. I want you to be able to acknowledge that shit yourself. I don't want to have to raise females. It's annoying. It's literally annoying. So I don't do it. I can't say that I won't ever not do that. But to me, the time for sisterhood, I mean, maybe it'll come later in my life, but honestly, I'm just so fed up and so done that it's just over with. I mean, and if the respective people see the episode, they see the episode. I quite frankly don't care. And maybe it'll come up later in a different conversation. Maybe it won't. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, okay, great. We'll talk about it. But at the end of the day, nothing changes for me. Because when I finally get ready, when I do have these conversations, just best believe I've already dealt with the emotions myself. And I already know how I'm going to go about it next. And sometimes I, forget, I'm supposed to be kind of more reserved around this person. And sometimes they get, a little bit of the access that they used to have before. But as soon as I recognize that I have lost the plot and did something that I said I wasn't going to do, or give somebody the access to me that I said I would take away, that is when I'm like, whoop, let's write that up real quick. So, literally childhood trauma turned adulthood obstacles. I don't know what I'm going to name it, but that may be the name of this episode. But, as far as the confidence factor in this, find somebody that you can talk to. Because I don't want to spread, something that I'm not doing. I don't want to say, oh, find confidence and be more confrontational and having the conversations with the people that you need to have the conversations about or with. I'm not going to say that, because Lord knows who I am right now. I'm not going to be the person that has the conversations with the people that do wrong to me. I'm not. I'm going to tell my husband about it. I'm going to probably tell my parents about it. I'm probably going to tell my twin about it. And then it's solved in my book. It's solved. So anytime I see you, yes, that frustration will come up. Not frustration, but, that situation will come back up. But how will I address it? I'm going to talk to you as if everything's great. I don't even care. I don't care. I know a lot of people get tired of oh, she's the fake friend. She's a fake friend. I don't care. I get so tired. I get so tired. So yes, I'm going to be a fake friend because obviously I don't want to say that's what you were to me, but the people that have hurt me that I considered friends, that you just don't hurt the people that you care about. If you deem something so necessary that's so important, that's so significant in somebody's life. This is my first child, and you felt comfortable enough to go and tell somebody that I do not talk to about my pregnancy, and that just having that person come up to me and tell me something they know about my life that I did not give them access to, complete throw off. So I don't know. And it was just like something happened like earlier in our friendship where her husband was like, oh, I didn't like you because you kind of told, the people this, which we had went out to brunch or whatever. And they were upset that I told people that we went to brunch. Like I told our team that we had went to brunch or something. But I'm just like, to this day, she tells people that we've gone here, or, oh, she came over and her kids have done this and this and that, and her kids acted this way when I came over, and all of this. Her kids ask about me, which they call, and she's at work. So it's just like, there's too many I don't want to say double standards, but I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. You're telling me not to do one thing, but clearly over and over and over, you've done the opposite of what you're telling me or trying to advise me not to do or to do. So, yeah. It is what it is, you guys, for me at least. But, take what you need to out of this episode. To me, I'm just going to keep the confidence in discussing my problems and what's emotionally going on with my twin sister and with my husband. Those are my two safe spaces. But when it comes to outside people that honestly can come and go whenever they want, I just, quite frankly, don't want to put the effort into protecting the relationship, saving the relationship. I always feel like I'm Captain Save a Hoe. Captain Save a fucking relationship. I'm done doing it. And I've been like that since high school with one particular person, and it just ended up so terrible at the end. When stuff crashes and burns, let it crash and burn. People grow apart. We have been friends for 2 years, and now all of a sudden, too comfortable telling my stuff to other people. Too comfortable. So find the confidence message that you want to find in this episode. For me, I'm going to keep the confidence in talking to my loved ones, my day twos, my day ones, my 2 day ones, about what's going on emotionally. Because if you don't have an avenue to talk about this stuff with, or, to release your tension, release your emotions, release what's going on, that is where I want you to focus your confidence in. Gaining confidence in talking to somebody that you fully trust. And if you don't trust anybody, gain confidence in talking to yourself. Whether that's a video to yourself, whether that's a voice recording in your phone, whether that's your journal, whatever. Because just bottling up all those emotions and not being able to release it is definitely going to tear you apart inside and out. But I feel like the only reason why I am always okay with not having the conversations with the people that are involved is because I have 2 avenues to talk about or talk to and get the stuff out to people directly. I always have my phone. I always have my journal. But that is where I'm going to end this episode. I got 5 minutes until I get or until my appointment starts. So I'm going to go ahead and start heading in. But you guys, I love y'all. Girls, I really want y'all to pay attention to the people that are in your circle. And if you really don't feel like this person is a safe space for you, or is not worthy enough to be in your safe space, please remove them. please remove them, because it's nothing worse than feeling like, oh, this is my safe circle, but feeling betrayed by one of those people in that circle. So stop doing stuff for aesthetic. Stop having friends for aesthetic. Stop having friends just for the sake of having, oh, I want to be the known female of having this many friends. I've never cared about how many friends I've had through high school, through life. And so I feel like that is where it's gotten me today. I don't like the people that I do have betray me is because, okay, I decided to open up and let people in. And I'm not saying I'm never going to do it again, but sometimes it does come and bite you in the ass. And that's what I'm learning. All right. So at this point, I have 4 minutes until my appointment. I'm wearing my Pretty Confident Podcast hoodie. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get in here and continue on with my day, run a few errands, and then go home and relax. And yeah, hopefully this person about those 2 accent chairs gets back with me so that I can finish out my living room. There's a few things that I want to do in my living room, but that's one of the biggest ones is just seating. So yeah. But yeah, you guys know that I love you, that, I will see you guys next week. And like I said, I will continue to be transparent on if I need to, take a week or so off, because I don't want to keep on doing the episodes in the car. But if y'all like these ride along episodes, let me know, and I'll keep on doing it until I have my setup space, set up in the house. But yeah, you guys, I love y'all. I hope you guys have a great day, a great rest of the week, and I will see y'all in the next episode next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection, it's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident.